Hello, students. We had done the second part of the chapter of Madam Rides the Bus in the last class. And today, again, we are going to continue with the chapter. We know that Valli has got on the bus, and now she's riding in the bus and she's enjoying the bus. At the same time, we see that how the conductor is a very jolly kind of a person, and he passes sarcastic remarks at her, and how there's a light-hearted manner, everybody's enjoying, and there are just a few passengers because the time of the business is a slack one, so just a few passengers are there, and how she is actually stopped by an elderly gentleman who warns her from standing on the seat because she wanted to look outside and have a view, the nice scenic view, because the blind or the coarse partition was not allowing her to see outside. So she disliked everything that the other co-passengers are disturbing her, because she wants to enjoy all by herself without getting disturbed. Again, we see that after this elderly gentleman, there is a lady who comes up in and who wants to sit nearby, and she is very repulsive kind of a person. She dislikes her very much, especially because of the big holes she had in her ear lobes and very ugly earrings. She did not like her earrings at all, and even the smell of beetle. Beetle is supari, and again, the smell of beetle is also repulsive. And the woman was chewing, and see, the beetle juice was just about to spill over her lips. So she did not find her good enough to be a companion there, and she disliked even talking to her. So let us see how the lady continues, whether she disturbs her or it is fine. Oh, so we can see again this exclamatory mark. She dislikes her and finds her very repulsive. Who could be so sociable with such a person? She doesn't want a company of such a person. Yes, I am traveling alone, she answered curtly. And this curtly was in a very fast manner and showing displeasure bluntly. And I have got a ticket too. And remember, though I'm alone, I have a ticket, so don't bother me. Yes, she is on her own way to town. Again, you know that conductor is always not missing even a single chance to laugh at her, or won't say laugh at her, but have a light-hearted remark. And so again, he chimed in and he said that yes, madam is all alone and she's going to the town, and she also has 30 paisa ticket also, so she has the ticket, so no botheration. Oh, why don't you mind your own business? Wally said this to the conductor, and then she started laughing also, because till now we have seen that she is also now becoming gradually gelling up nicely with all these people, and the conductor laughed too. But the old woman went on. You know, the old ladies or the elderly people are much more concerned about you. How can you go all alone? You are such a small child. So she did not stop asking questions. She's inquiring. What are the different questions? So went on with her drivel, with her silly and nonsense talk. She went on. Is it proper for such a young girl like you to travel alone? First question. Do you know exactly where you are going? At least are you aware about this? What's the street? Which address you are going in the city? Do you know the street and the house number? Because she's thinking that somewhere she would be going in the town. They have no idea that she is just taking a bus ride and she is going to return back. You needn't bother about me. I can take care of myself nicely. Valli said, turning her face towards the window and staring out. So, staring out and turning her face is also to avoid any further conversation with her. And she doesn't want to answer any of these questions. We come to the oral comprehension check here. Why does the conductor called Valli Madam? We have already seen that she's a, kid of 8 years. She's not a grown up, and still she has decided to have her bus ride on her own. And so the way she is behaving in a very confident way and a sophisticated manner that she's a grown up. So sarcastically, even the conductor is calling her Madam. Why does Valli stand up on the seat? You know that the course blind was not allowing her to see outside and to enjoy the beauty outside, to see the scenes outside. So she had to stand up on the seat. What does she see now? The description has been given where on one direction we see that there's a canal, and then there are high mountains and nice scenic beauty. On the other side we see that she saw the ditch and green fields as far as you can see. So it's such nice beauty she was enjoying for the first time. What does Valli tell the elderly man when he calls her a child? So the first thing is that, yeah, that I am not a kid, I am not a child, and second that I have my 30 paisa, so you just don't disturb me. Why didn't Valli want to make friends with the elderly woman? Just now we have seen that how she hated the earrings, the big holes of the earlobes, then the beetle she is chewing, it is about to drip outside of her lips, and she finds her totally repulsive character. So she's not ready to talk to her at all. So she doesn't want to befriend her. Now let us continue with this part, the third part of the chapter, and we will here first begin with what are the different painstaking efforts she had to do. How did she prepare for the journey? How did she manage to do all that? Because that is not that as easy as it sounds. So what are the different preparations that she had to do? What are the different sacrifices that she had to make? That is the first thing that we are going to begin today. Her first journey, we know that this is the bus journey. What careful and painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it. So it's not as easy as taking the money and sitting in the bus, but a lot of planning is required, a lot of pains she has taken, and a lot of meticulous planning is required. Elaborate means detailed plan were required. She had to make for it. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way. You know that thrifty is spend money carefully. Very carefully you have to save money. Otherwise, you cannot save the money which you otherwise get for your pocket money, etc. Whatever stray coins came her way, that means whatever were the easily found coins given by the mother or otherwise, so every penny was nicely saved by her, and she had to make sacrifices by not spending them in any way, resisting every temptation. Now suppose you have the coin, you have the money, and as soon as you see an ice cream, a chocolate, or any drink or anything, pani puri, you will just go there and you just have it. So these are all temptations which are attracting you to buy peppermint. So peppermints are what you like, toys you would like to buy, balloons you would like to buy, and the like, and similar things. But these are all temptations which she resisted because there was a greater desire of riding in the bus. And finally, she had saved a total of 60 paise, but nothing more. So she cannot spend anything after going to the town there. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, because whenever there is a fair, you just love to spend money on maybe the merry-go-round and eating all sorts of stuffs and riding on various rides. So this is the best part for every child, and you cannot stop yourself from doing this. But she had to do it. she had to stop herself. But she had resolutely stifled a strong desire. She had to resolutely, means with determination, stop herself or control herself, her strong desire to ride the merry-go-round. And merry-go-round, as we have the chakri where you sit and the children enjoy very much. So she actually really wanted to sit in that and enjoy this ride, but she had to deny herself, and she resisted herself very strongly, even though she had the money. And there's money also, you have the desire also, still you have to stop. After she had enough money saved, that means 60 paisa, her next problem was how to slip out of the house. Once, with a lot of difficulty, you have collected the money, the fare, the return, going and return one also. Now it is important that at what time you are going to, how would you manage it without your mother noticing about it. She's not telling her mother directly that I want to go. All this will be done secretively, so without her mother's knowledge. But she managed this without much difficulty, because every day after lunch her mother would nap, take nap. She would sleep in the afternoon from about 1 to 4. So 3 hours are there or so. Valli always used these hours for her excursions, for her short trips in the village, going here and there wherever she wants, without any argument, without any opposition from the mother, easily. As she stood looking from the doorway of her house, so what is it? Or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Normally she would used to just stand at the doorway and enjoy the scene, the bus and other vehicles and passengers and people, and sometimes even ventured out into the village, even sometimes went into the village. So obviously with very much cautious and courage, because mother should not be knowing about all that. Maybe the mother resisted this. Today these same hours could be used for our first excursion outside the village. Earlier, the time was utilized inside the village itself for the excursions inside the village, but now this would be used for to go out of the village for the first time, especially for this bus ride. The bus rolled on, now cutting across a bare landscape. And right now, Valli is already sitting in the bus and enjoying the ride. She's going towards the town. The bus is rolling on, moving on, now cutting across a bare landscape. Now, every time green fields and mountains, etc., is not there. Right now, there is nothing, bare landscape it is. Now, rushing through a tiny hamlet, and then you can find a small village or just a small settlement of human beings, a few huts, etc., or past an odd wayside shop, or there could be some small shops that could be seen. So all these are just the scenes that she is witnessing when she is sitting inside the bus. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle. As you say, just gobble a lollipop or something like that. So sometimes it appears as though the big bus would just engulf the other, maybe the small vehicles coming from the other side or something like that, or maybe a cow or a human being. So suddenly it could be an accident, and yeah, and the other one would be completely engulfed. So she was very very scared that the bus would gobble up another vehicle. But the drivers, are very very expert, and they are very very experienced. Even though we think that it could lead to an accident, or it was a very sharp close shave with the other vehicle, but they are well trained. But we know sometimes we have seen that the animals like cow or dogs are even seen dead on the road. So yes, it is not always that they are saved, but mostly whenever a driver is riding a bus, etc., then they are careful about the life of even the animals, etc., or any other human being crossing the road, etc. So once or twice she felt as though the bus is gobbling the other vehicle, but then was coming towards them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. So it could be gobbling a vehicle or a pedestrian, a person who is walking on the road. But lo, to her surprise, somehow it passed on smoothly. Without any accident, everything was going fine, leaving all obstacles safely behind. And all the obstacles were left behind, and the bus was riding nicely and smoothly. As the bus reached them and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. Now, what is given here? Trees came running towards them. Now, you know that when a bus is moving on, that how does the trees appear? The trees appear as if they are running towards you. Then, when you are just beside them, it appears for a second that they have stopped. Again, they are moving back. So this is just because of the movement of the bus that the trees which are still and motionless appear to be moving. Suddenly, Valli clapped her hands with glee. She was happy, very happy. What was there? A young cow. And the cow was very happy, tail high in the air, was running very fast. So, this cow was running very fast. Even you can see in this picture given that the cow is running very fast. And how is the reaction of these animals on the road? Right in the middle of the road. It came just in the middle of the road, and obviously the bus was to be stopped right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl. Obviously, it slowed down and very much slowly, or even stopped, and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again until the cow gets away. But the more he honked, as soon as he kept on blowing his horn, the more frightened the animal became and the faster it galloped, always right in the front of the bus. Sometimes we uh, want the cow to go away from the road, but now instead of that, opposite reaction was given by the cow, and instead it came just in front of the bus. And galloping means he ran fast just in front of the bus. Okay, so we can see the cow here running and then finally coming before the bus. Obviously, the bus was to be stopped. Meanwhile, Valli started gazing at this cow. Now, right now, the cow who is alive, who is young, who is energetic, what is the reaction of this cow? Valli is actually enjoying the sight of the cow and the reaction of the cow when the horn is blown. Somehow this was very funny to Valli. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. And this was very funny that how the cow kept on staying there at a wrong place, and finally after she moved away. But the whole incident made Valli laugh and laugh. After all, she was a kid and there were tears in her eyes. She laughed so heartily. "Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough?" called the conductor. "Better save some for tomorrow. You are just laughing a lot." At last, the cow moved off the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. Now, this is again something we have all faced. Whenever the bus is moving, it has to again stop before a railway crossing. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance. It's just you will just at first sight would just see a dot. The train would just appear to be like a dot. Okay, but gradually as it comes nearer and nearer, you are able to see that the size of the train is growing bigger and bigger, and finally it is just before you, and then you can see the whole train, and you can see this, hear the sound also. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, and it was a very fast train, so it went away with great roar and rattle. So great sound, and the rattling of the train was also heard with it. shaking the bus. And it was so fast that the vibrations could be felt even inside the bus. Thus, the bus went on and passed the train station. So, again, this is another experience that is added up. From there, it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street. And then it crossed a busy street. What kind of a street it is? Well laid out. Opposite to the street lanes and streets in the village, it was nice, it was well decorated, it was proper, and turning entered a wide thoroughfare. Thoroughfare is a busy public road. So finally they have reached a main road. Such big, bright looking shops, as compared to the village shops, there could be just one tube light or a light. Here there could be, they're just blazing with all sorts of lights and very attractive ones. Even the signboards are attractive and glittering, and they are all I think, calling and tempting the customers to get inside and buy something. So yes, the city shops, you would have also seen that they are very, very bright looking, and they are very tempting also. You really like to go inside. What glittering displays of clothes, and we can see the dummies, etc. The clothes are also are also laid for display, and other merchandise and other items are also there. And along with that, what is the difference here? The city has big crowds, a lot of people going here and there. Struck dumb with wonder. She's just dumbstruck with wonder because she has also seen the city for the first time, city road and city shops for the first time. Valli gaped at everything. She was just gaping and looking at, gazing at, and continuously dumbstruck. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Valli. Why Valli did not get off? Because we know very well that this is not her stop. She has to go back. And she cannot get down also because she has not brought any extra sum of money to do some shopping also. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paisa takes you. Now I will not take you anywhere, so just get down. No, Valli said. I'm going back on this same bus. I have to go back also. Now, normally this doesn't happen that you will go back in a bus. You would get down to your destination. She took another 30 paisa from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. Why? Is something the matter? What has happened? Why you are going back? Is there any emergency? No, no, nothing's the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. I have actually come here to enjoy the bus ride. I have not come here to get down and see the town or go anywhere. Don't you want to have a look at the sights? At least if you are here, there are 15 minutes. Just see here, go through the streets and have a look at all these things. Now that you are here, all by myself. Oh, I would be much too afraid. Now, earlier she was behaving very confidently that I can do all by myself and I'm not scared. Here she's saying, all alone getting down in this town? No, I'm very, very afraid here. I cannot get down all alone in this city. I'm not aware about this city. No one knows me here. And secondly, I don't even have money. So I have no plannings, such plannings to get down here. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, but you weren't afraid to come in the bus. Now, how suddenly you are afraid? You were, madam, very confident, madam, here. Suddenly, how can you become afraid here? You were very confident. Nothing to be afraid of about that. Now, it is not that specially I am very afraid of getting down and all and buying something or looking at the sights or the streets. Well, then why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either. And he has even suggested that at least you have a few minutes, so get down, have something to drink, and you will feel good. And don't be afraid, because I am also there here. And so go and just have a drink. But oh no, I couldn't do that. Well, then let me bring you a cold drink. I will myself bring a cold drink for you. So the conductor has been very concerned about her, and he offered a cold drink here. So he is just about to go to buy a cold drink. But you remember that Valli has no extra money here. She cannot spend any extra penny here because she has to go back also. So she will refuse this offer of a cold drink. Just revise this part of the chapter, students, and I hope that you would have understood.